Max always had tuned into the Golden Globes and Oscars. Growing up, they had greatly entertained him, wondering who would be voted as Best Actor. Max had aspirations to get into the entertainment industry, inspired by the success of famous actors and actresses. He would always imagine himself in their place, receiving awards and being praised for his amazing acting skills. Sadly, those dreams had been crushed over time, with him having to settle for a mundane 9-to-5, only watching these famous actors instead of being one of them. Because of that, his love and respect of the actors and actresses had changed into a vile contempt, desperately wanting to trade places with them. This year's Golden Globe Awards were going the same way for Max as it always did, with him sitting and commenting on who won each award, wishing it was him. Right now, actors and actresses were walking down the red carpet, smiling to press and fans, being adored by most. Grumpily, Max mumbled to himself, "Max, I wish I was there, being praised for my talent, being loved by everyone, making more money than I would know what to do with. If only the world was fair." Unbeknownst to Max, there were higher powers at hand who were listening to his wish and decided to grant it, but not in any way Max would have expected. For the first few moments after his wish, everything was normal. The TV displaying Selena Gomez all dolled up in makeup and a stunning white dress and heels. Then, as she was walking down the red carpet, the TV began to freeze up, becoming mostly static, the image of Selena just barely visible. Before Max had time to react, the TV emitted a bright light, filling up his entire vision, knocking him out. When Max woke up, he was both already in a standing position and no longer in his home, but instead on the red carpet. Max realized this as he looked around, noticing the paparazzi and flashing lights, camera people observing from a slight distance. Max was about to freak out, to run and ask someone what was going on, when he found himself unable. Effectively, he was paralyzed from the neck down, unable to move or speak, just left standing there. He was able to turn his head, allowing him to look as he heard people approaching. He turned to see a group of famous actresses, the same he had seen on TV moments before. He watched as they passed him by, each turning to look and smile at him, seemingly not confused at a random guy suddenly appearing. In fact, why had security not already taken him? Had they simply not noticed him yet? As Max's brain reeled for answers, one of the actresses, Brie Larson, walked up to him saying, "Brie Larson, hey Selena, good job on the nomination." She was only the first as more famous actresses walked by, all addressing him as Selena Gomez. Max was only more confused and frightened by this, looking around only to find the actual Selena Gomez was strangely absent, even though he had seen her on TV with the rest. It was not long before the first group of photographers to appear, asking to take his picture. Yet again, Max did not know why they were not disturbed about his sudden appearance, along with the sudden disappearance of the actual Selena. And, he thought, why would they want to take pictures of me so badly? After all, I'm only Selena Gomez. Mentally, Max's thoughts seemed to freeze in place for a moment, his brain working on overdrive to find what was wrong with that statement. Did I just call myself Selena Gomez? He thought. Why would I do that? My name is Selena, not Selena. At this point, Selena was inwardly screaming, desperate to remember his real name. But every time he tried to think of it, he just came back with Selena Gomez, unable to remember being called anything different, but knowing that his real name could not be Selena Gomez. But if not that, then what else could it be? A wave of familiarity washed over him, centering around the name Selena Gomez. He became increasingly familiar with it, almost like he had been using it his entire life. Selena was pulled out of this mental freakout by the first pictures being taken, the flash seemingly causing strange effects all over his body. His skin tingled, his blemishes disappearing from sight, and any body hair not on his head falling off in droves, leaving his body practically hairless. His skin greatly softened, losing most of the tan he had been steadily building up, although some remained. A particularly bright flash caused any stomach fat or muscle to be pulled inward, leaving a flat surface. He would have probably puked had he been in control of his body, although whatever force was keeping him in place prevented that. Another flash caused his hands, resting limply by his sides, to shrink down, his fingers elongating and nails lengthening, sharpening and being covered by white nail polish. His arms were next to go, shrinking down and losing fat to match his shrunken hands. Dual flashes caused both of his shoulders to pull inwards, becoming less broad in the process. Selena could see as the cameras moved upward slightly, now taking pictures of mostly his face, capturing his neck in the process. As they did this, his neck slimmed out, becoming thinner and slightly longer. This only made the lump in his throat more noticeable, although that was quickly rectified, as his Adam's apple began to shrink. His voice became progressively higher until it had fully disappeared, leaving him with the extremely recognizable voice of Selena Gomez. The flashes had become almost mesmerizing at this point, and Selena began to fall into almost a trance by looking at them, an overwhelming feeling of calm washing over him. His previous confusion and anxiety was being ebbed away, replaced by feelings of accomplishment and confidence, even if he did not yet remember why he should feel those things. He felt himself begin to smile, perfectly displaying his face as it began to change. The first flash caused his jawline to soften, losing some of its former angularity. His forced smile showed off his lips as they plumped up, becoming like two pillows on his face. His teeth behind them began to brighten, straightening out as if having been professionally cleaned, giving him a perfect smile. His nose crunched down, becoming a cute button as his eyes grew in size slightly, changing color from gray-blue to a dark brown. His eyelashes lengthened, becoming much longer as his eyebrows burned slightly as they were plucked, becoming far less noticeable. "Oh, I love your makeup, Miss Gomez," he heard someone call out. As if on cue, makeup seemed to seep out from his pores, soon covering his face. His lips were coated in lip gloss and mascara and eyeshadow appearing as well, blush adorning his cheeks as they grew out slightly. The next flash caused his hair to begin rapidly growing out, soon falling down his back like a waterfall, darkening to a midnight black from its previous light brown. Selena was sure that if he felt this hair, it would be soft and luscious. A series of bright flashes caused Selena to become slightly nauseous, the world seeming to shake as he shrank, going from 6 feet 2 inches to a short 5 feet 5 inches, over half a foot lost in the span of a few seconds. The flashes were going deeper in his mind now, giving him a massive confidence boost. He gained the sudden compulsion to pose for the pictures being taken. After all, I have to look good for my award, he thought, unaware of why he was thinking it, but it just felt right to think like that. Listening to the desire to pose, he placed both hands on his hips, cocking them to one side. This seemed to cause his waist to cave in, decreasing his width even further. His thrown-out hips and thighs began to quickly gain fat, moving out to either side and giving him a distinct hourglass figure. This put pressure on both his genes and manhood, although he was too distracted by the cameras at this point to care. His back cracked, becoming a feminine curve in an S shape. His legs slimmed out, the fat burning away until they were long and slim, his feet having shrunk to a petite size, his toenails coated in the same polish as his fingers. The flashes seemed to be taking a break now from changing his body, now focusing on his clothes. His socks seemed to shrivel up, disappearing from existence, leaving his small feet in his now cavernous shoes. This was quickly fixed by another flash, causing his shoes to shrink, turning black and hardening. They proceeded to grow long, 3-inch heels in the back, although he somehow managed to stand in them perfectly, new muscle memory forming, gaining years of experience in a few seconds. His jeans pulled upwards, stopping just below his knees, his pant legs fusing to make an almost sort of tight skirt. His pullover sweater seemed to recede down his body, stopping at just over his pectorals, exposing his shoulders and arms. Another flash caused his now top and skirt to merge together, bleaching white and tightening as they became the same white dress he had seen Selena Gomez wearing. Underneath it, a bra appeared over his chest, his underwear tightening and becoming more feminine. The flashes began to ramp up in number as his body entered its final stage of changes. The flashes began to make his chest itch, a pressure starting to build as sensitive tissue formed behind his rapidly softening pecs. After more and more flashes making the pressure steadily worse, it euphorically released, 2 B-cup breasts coming out of his chest and pushing out his dress, supported by the bra and measuring 36 inches. His backside began to push out in the other direction, fat flowing into it, until his new underwear fit snugly, and his dress noticeably pushed out by it. Finally, his manhood began to change, pulling back into him and changing, along with the rest of his internal organs, into their female equivalents. With her body now fully changed, the flashes cascaded into her mind, changing all her memories. She now remembered being born in the year 1992 in the city of Grand Prairie, Texas. She now remembered her parents as having been a father of Mexican descent and her mother having Italian roots respectively, her mother having been a stage actress. She remembered becoming interested in pursuing a career in the entertainment industry after watching her mother prepare for performances, wondering if she could become an actress as well. She gained memories of becoming famous by acting in popular Disney shows, mainly Hannah Montana and Wizards of Waverly Place, auditioning for many other Disney shows as well. Finally, she remembered being nominated for Best Actress, here to see if she had won the award, greatly hoping she had. With that, the transformation and paralysis ended, and Selena Gomez posed for one last picture, placing one hand on her hip, ready to win her award.